Well, today let's talk Radish Roman. Radish Roman is leading so far in the Jockeys Championship. If Radish Roman was to donate 8 of his wins so far to Ryan Lewis or Richie Shakes, and then run half of his race as Roman and the other half as Radish, he would have still be ahead in the Jockeys Championship. At first and second. Roman would be first, and Radish would be second. That's how far ahead Radish Roman is. So now the conversation is no longer whether Radish Roman will win the Jockeys Championship. The ground would have to open up and swallow him for that not to happen. Mainly seeing that second place and third place doesn't seem to be interested in a Jockeys Championship, in my opinion. Especially second place. Second place has no interest in a Jockey's Championship based on what I've been noticing. Anyway, before people misread what I said about second place, I am not suggesting anything nefarious. I'm just talking about choice of rides and the amount of rides. Anyway, I saw something yesterday. Charles Ossie is backing champion jockey Radish Roman to break the single season win record that came on a Park. And that conversation came up earlier in the year, and I said I was going to do a video on it, but I kept delaying the video. I was watching to see what would have happened. But former champion jockey Charles Ossie, in an interview with Nationwide News, stated that reigning champion Radish Roman is capable of beating Trevor Simpson's record for the most win in a single season at Caymanas Park. We can all remember that Trevor Simpson rode 172 winners in 2002. Radish Roman currently sits at 69 wins, with his closest rival being the veteran jockey Shane the Canterman Ellis on 30 wins. Now, Ossie told Nationwide Sports that Trevor Simpson's record is so impressive, right? That no one else has gone close. But he is backing Radish Roman to break this record. Radish Roman is so far right now the most consistent jockey at Caymanas Park and the most dependable jockey. And that's why King Charles is backing Radish Roman to break the record. And also of note that King Charles, aka, well, his real name is Charles Ossie, but aka King Charles, is stating that he's also happy with the current crop of jockeys at Caymanas Park. And if you guys have been noticing earlier in the year, I did videos bigging up Richie Shakes and Demar Williams and Tajay Suko and company, stating that I was impressed with these youngsters. And of course, persons took me to task, stating that these youngsters cannot ride and they have a lot more to learn and blah 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 and blah blah blah. But I have gotten used to it, where it seems to be a trend to put down the youths. I am not going to look at the likes of Richie Shakes and Demar Williams when they make a mistake and claim that they cannot ride when I see more senior jockeys making the same mistakes. These jockeys are competent jockeys, but in all sports, mistakes will happen. In football, Messi make mistake, and Messi is arguably the greatest footballer to have ever walked the planet. He is certainly the greatest footballer of our lifetime, but he can also be said to be the greatest footballer to have ever walked the planet. And Messi do make mistakes. So of course, jockeys being human, and I don't think any of our jockeys currently are the greatest jockeys of all time. So mistakes are expected from them. And even though I understand that when they do make mistakes, people lose financially. But that's the nature of the sport. And all of us know that this sport is an unpredictable sport. Otherwise, we wouldn't be gambling because all of the horses would run through the farm and there would basically be no money on offer, low payout all around. But back to Radish Roman. Radish Roman has certainly shown in the past 2 seasons to be very competent, very, very consistent, and has taken his craft very seriously. Imagine if he didn't go easy in January, so to speak, he would have been probably somewhere about 75, 76 rides. As it stands, the target to break Aussie record is 100, not Aussie. Trevor Simpson record is 172 with basically 36 race days to go. Well, Cayman Park calendar states that um it's 37 race days to go because there are 80 race days and 43 has gone already. But by my count, I count 36, so I don't know. So I'm doing my calculation based on 36. With 36 race days to go, Radish Roman needs to win 2.8 races every single race meet in order to break the record. And you'll have to be crazy not to believe that based on the empirical evidence that has presented itself to us, Radish Roman's consistency, his agent being basically the best agent at track right now, and the confidence that the owners and trainers has placed in Radish Roman, one will have to be very, very naive to believe that Radish Roman would not break this record. Of course, I can understand that one could definitely state that perhaps later down in the year, when some of the returning jockeys come to the track, some of the rides that he's getting may no longer be rides that he'll be getting, and that may be true. But Roman could certainly be so close to the record at that point, it may not matter. And you guys are also forgetting a major factor, the story. No, a lot of persons like to be a part of a story, and the human element of persons wanting to be part of a story, wanting to see people succeed, could be one where later down in the year, let's say that some jockeys return and will probably have gotten a mount, but those at track realize that if they give Radish Roman this mount, then he can get closer to the record. So instead of giving one of those returning jockey that mount, Radish Roman could end up getting that mount as well. So I think that the returning jockeys will not play that much of a factor when you consider that the human interest element would basically counter that. So either way, Radish Roman would not be affected there. And winning 3 races every race meet doesn't seem to be out of the hands of Radish Roman. Say, for example, he win 5 races today. Tomorrow, he only need to win 1 or 2 and he'll be ahead of the curve, basically. And he has shown where he is not afraid of taking 5 races on a race meet. I mean, he did it on July 5th with Sir John Supernatural Power Nuclear Jets, Strike Smart, and Desert of Malibu. And the following day, he won with Alkebulan and Blue Vinyl for an average of 3.5 wins over the weekend. If he can do this every weekend going down to December, he can basically take his foot off the gas and still break the record as long as he's fit enough. He's good enough. So anyways, folks, this is my views on whether Radish Roman can break the record. Charles Ossie is backing him, and Charles Ossie is a wise man, and I believe that Charles Ossie can break the record. This is Prince Green signing out once again. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out for now.